This channel is for educational purposes only. Please do your own due diligence before making any investment decisions.
Hi, this is Joe Rabil. Welcome back. So, have you gotten yourself in a position where you see a specific trade or a specific stock that looks very, very attractive, and you want to do the trade, and then when you look at it on the higher time frame, you realize it doesn't look very good? All right. I want to address this because there are times when you can take this trade and times when you can't. And I want to make sure you understand the difference, because if you're taking it at the wrong time, this is where a lot of your losses are going to come from. All right. So let's go ahead and get into this. If you want to learn more about some of these techniques, especially trading in multiple time frames, you can click the link in the description to find out more about the book. Also, if you do enjoy this type of content, please hit that like button and also subscribe. We're going to start out with Emerson Electric, all right, EMR. And this is an hourly chart, and we can see that we started in a downtrend, all right? We were working our way, making lower highs and lower lows, and then we broke the downtrend line, right? And we started moving sideways at this point. And then you can see we actually turned this to the upside. We made the 3 in a 1, 2, 3 change in trend. Following that, we come back down and we make a higher low. So now we've made a higher high and a higher low, and we're turning back up. So we know we've made a higher low once we kind of turn up from here. And then look at this quiet little sideways pattern. I mean, this is really nice. We've turned things around. We haven't really taken off yet, but we've got this very quiet little consolidation taking place. So if we come back up through 141, this would be a very bullish scenario for this stock, especially considering green DI is holding above 25 and holding above the red. And we've got this low ADX condition in place. So I kind of feel like if we can get through 141, this is probably the start of something pretty meaningful. Now, when we switch over and we look at all the time frames, so this time frame is now aligned with this. All right, I did move these back a little bit so you could see what these look like. You can see that we've still got a declining 18. We're below the 40. MACD doesn't look all that great. We've got no real, in fact, red is above green here. Right? So if I'm just looking at the one time frame above on the daily, I'm kind of like, this doesn't look all that great, even though this time frame looks pretty good. However, if we start looking at the weekly and the monthly, we can see that we're sitting on massive support on the monthly, right? And we're sitting on support on the weekly. So we've got these tails forming. Look at these tails that have formed over the last couple weeks, okay? So we're seeing that develop, and we're also seeing that we're above the 18 and the 40 in this time frame. And even though the 18 is below the 40 in this time frame, we're kind of looking at this like an opposing trend pattern into the weekly. Now, this isn't a strong sloping upward trend, right? I mean, there's not a lot of strength on the weekly slope, and there's not a lot of strength in the trend, but the buyers are in command, and you can see that we've got an upward sloping 18-month line here. So in this scenario, when I look at this, I'm kind of thinking if I see strength through 141, I'm somewhat interested, because I know I've got room up to, probably the mid 150s at this point, just looking at the bigger time frames and looking at the fact that if we do turn up based off this support, then we've got a shot at making a decent move to the upside. All right. Now, if we start looking at, and let's, you can see what happened here. It actually turned into a pretty nice little move. We got a monster green bar coming up through that 141 level. By the end of the day, it was at 145 or something like that. And then we've gotten follow through from there. So it ended up, based on the analysis, if you're looking at this and looking at all 4 time frames, you can see that this hourly chart, even though it looked good and the daily did not, you can still take this trade. But let's look at something a little bit different. So let's start with the TDG, TransDigm Group. All right, we've got the same downtrend in place. We're working sideways, and now we start to turn to the upside with strength. Look at the strength in the ADX. Look at the MACD. I mean, this is pretty dynamic price action. We've made a really nice move, and we have taken out this prior high, but the pullback is really intriguing, right? I mean, this looks to me like something that's really turning around. Now, when we start to look at this in the position that it's in relative to the other time frames, you can see that we've got a declining 18 that's just crossing down through the 40, and we're rallying up into that declining 18. We've also got negative MACD, and we've got the sellers kind of in command here on the higher time frame. So when I see that, starting to question it. But now I want to look at the higher time frames. Now look at this. We failed at the 18-month. Right? As opposed to holding the 18-month, we're failing at it, right? And then we just failed at the 0 line on the MACD on this last rally on the weekly. So we've got this stock that is not looking all that attractive on the higher time frames, monthly and weekly, and it certainly doesn't look good on the daily chart. And I'm just telling you that I used to look at hourly charts. I used to spend a lot of time just going through and looking at hourly charts because I kind of felt like it gave me an idea of what a stock wanted to do over the next few weeks. And I thought that was incredibly important. So once I started seeing patterns like this, I started to get really enticed by it. And I started thinking, you know what? I mean, I think I could take a trade like this, even though it doesn't look good on the daily. Maybe it's going to rip through these moving averages, right? And what I kept on finding was, yeah, it would make a little bit of a move and then it would hit its head on this, or it would try and make a move, and the higher time frame resistance that was developing and patterns that were developing were basically causing this to fail very quickly, right? So you've got to be incredibly picky when it comes to looking at the smaller time frame. I notice a lot of times people will look at a corrective pattern on the hourly chart, right, and think this looks so good. So you see something like this and you think this looks really, really good. And then if you look at it on the higher time frame, this looks like an opposing trend pattern, right? But if you go and look at it at the higher time frame, it doesn't have a good look to it. It's just not in a position to go higher. And that's where you've got to be incredibly careful. You don't want to start with the lower time frame. You always start with the higher time frame. And what I tell guys when they're starting out, don't even look at the smaller time frame until you've seen something that looks attractive on it. So if you're trading daily, hourly, you look at daily charts and you look for the attractive daily patterns that are pulling back, right? Or low ADX patterns that are getting ready to break out if you're using that signal, right? And so but if you're looking at the pullback trades, you are looking at the higher time frame only. Look at the higher time frame, see if it looks good, see if it has the characteristics you're looking for, and then go and look at the smaller time frame. Don't do it the other way around. Don't look at strength on the smaller time frame and then try and convince yourself that it's something you should be buying on the higher time frame. I just thought this was worth spending a few minutes on. I think a lot of people get it backwards. They see it. A lot of times what they end up doing is they pull up a chart, and maybe you're like this too. You pull up a chart and you see a really attractive pattern in a specific time frame. So it just kind of draws your eyes to it, and you see it and you're thinking, wow, this looks really good. And then you kind of convince yourself that you can do the trade even though it doesn't look good on the other time frames. This is where you can really mess yourself up. I know for me, when I was starting out, this happened over and over again. I kept on sort of convincing myself that the pattern looked good enough that I could do it as a standalone basis. And I'm just telling you, using multiple time frames is going to make a huge difference for you. If you start with the higher time frame and work down and use this only as a trigger time frame, then that's fine. Now, listen, you could do this as the higher time frame, but then you're entering and exiting off of a 10-minute chart, and your target is going to be the 18 on the daily. So you have to work that out and make sure that the risk reward makes sense on a 10-minute chart. And if you're doing a trade off of a 10-minute chart, then that means you have to be in and out by the end of the day. All right. And that trade's totally fine. You can say, okay, my target's up around 1263, which is up here. I'm just going to get in off the 10-minute chart, use 10-minute risk, and see if I can't get one leg to the upside and then just get out by the end of the day or even earlier. Right. So you can do that. That's not a problem, but you can't take this trade thinking you're going to swing trade it and ignore what's taking place on the higher time frames. All right. Let me know if you have any questions. We'll see you next time.